If you walk into a modern Indian home during the late summer festival season, you will likely find a familiar scene. Oil lamps are burning, decadent sweets are piled high, and the doors are locked tight against the weather outside. But the 4 months spanning roughly from August to November, a period known as Chaturmasa, were historically anything but cozy. This is the peak of the Indian monsoon. Before modern infrastructure, heavy rains meant massive, stagnant bodies of water. People waded through unsanitary floods, dealt with exploding insect populations, and faced a rapid spike in seasonal diseases like malaria and cholera. Ancient sages used this cluster of festivals as a highly coordinated survival strategy designed to combat the season's peak environmental threats. This handwritten Telugu text reveals the original intent behind the Chaturmasya festivals. It outlines a strict, codified environmental prescription. The documents direct communities to perform a yajna, a specific centralized fire ritual, where they combust native woods alongside highly active medicinal herbs. This diagram illustrates how the process works on a physical level. The smoke from these specific materials acts as a large-scale airborne fumigant. As it spreads through a village, it actively breaks down seasonal pathogens lingering in the damp air. These fires were designed as a decentralized biochemical public health intervention, cloaked in the language of prayer. We know this was a calculated system because the authors left behind this exact schedule. It lists 23 specific yajnas, organized strictly by date and festival. The timeline is grueling. 20 standard rituals and 3 special observances run continuously from August to November. Look closely, and you can see familiar holidays tied directly to this defense grid. A major celebration like Vijayadashami is inextricably linked to its specific fire ritual. Executing a schedule this tight requires extreme logistical rigor. Today, a group known as the Visva Yagna Parishat Samiti, or VYPS, operates under a strict mandate to perform these rituals sequentially. The exhaustive detail of this table reveals a systematic, codified defense grid, mapping out a precise seasonal intervention. To understand why these exact dates were chosen, we have to look at the concept of Sandhi Kala. These are the critical transition periods in the lunar calendar when the seasons shift. This chart tracks the 4-month monsoon timeline. Notice the drastic spike at these transitional intervals. During a Sandhi Kala, weather patterns turn erratic, and environmental vulnerability to disease reaches its absolute peak. When we map the 23 yagna schedule directly onto this data, it perfectly targets these vulnerability spikes. The ancient scholars scheduled their fumigating fires to ignite on the exact days the environment was most unstable. The timing of Hindu festival days is an ancient method of encoding advanced environmental management directly into a calendar that the public would naturally follow. The source document ends with a passionate critique of how these festivals are handled today. The original instruction was to sacrifice outward, to project cleansing smoke into nature. Now, people mostly close their doors and eat heavy foods in isolation. Over centuries, the protective, functional fire was abandoned, leaving behind only the feast. By stripping our seasonal festivals of their ecological mechanisms, we have left our communities fully vulnerable to the exact seasonal threats the rishis were trying to prevent. The VYPS is trying to reverse this trend. They commit serious logistical resources, often traveling up to 100 kilometers a day, to ensure these protective rituals are conducted in individual homes. A properly executed Vedic fire ritual requires immense physical effort. You have to maintain a towering flame and constantly feed active botanical offerings into the copper pit to generate the required smoke. The Telugu manuscript closes with a familiar phrase, Sarve Jana Sukhino Bhavantu, may all people be happy. In the context of Chaturmasya, that phrase functions as a literal directive. It is an active mandate for public health, communal survival, and keeping the local ecology in balance.